Yo.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome back to Randoms. We're back again. We are back with Dlozi. While Thembi was teaching, Thembi was being told what to say, and I'm hoping he was being told, because what he said there could make him fight with the so-called Wamandla gang, and that is Imbokodo, and that is independent women who pride themselves about being independent. And we have at some point talked about it. Obviously, we have said a lot of things. So this is Mr. Anonymous and Emily. Greet our people and let us roll.
Hi guys, welcome back to Randoms. Today we are reviewing Dlozi season 8 episode 2. So yeah, it was a very interesting episode. It was about a couple who was going through the most in their marriage, and they wanted to know whether they should fix things or whether they should continue filing for divorce. Lerato is actually the one who wrote to the show. She's from Dasprot, and she said that she wanted to leave her marriage. But the reasons are not clear. The ancestors came to Thembi to say that the reasons were actually not clear. She know that marriage was not easy. Okay, so her father is tired of hearing her crying all the time about her marriage. She has one child in a relationship with a man by the name Mr. Shumule.
Shumule. Yes, I think I hope we didn't butcher the name, but yeah, that's the surname Shumule.
Yeah, and she says her relationship with her brother is also not good. She says that she wanted to be connected to her parents as well as her grandparents. And Malerato is her mother, or the spirit of her mother who is deceased. And the father as well also came, Mr. Sibili. And then the husband who showed up from the husband's side is the husband's father as well as grandfather.
Right.
Her mother says that Lerato's father didn't want to see Lerato in this marriage.
Okay.
Lerato says it's not nice. She has even filed for divorce. The forms were signed by both of them, and they are holding them. They are waiting to either turn them back to the courts so that the divorce is finally finalized, or destroy them and continue with their marriage. So they are holding on to it. So she wants to know if what she's doing is the right thing. Giving up on her marriage, is it the right decision or not? And Usis Thembi says that when we cry a lot and we get depression, or we get diagnosed with depression, Dlozi doesn't like that, and ends up taking you out of that situation. So Dlozi would want the best for you.
Definitely. Oh, that's nice to hear, because well, other people are always thinking Dlozi is all about taking
and punishing.
That's a good thing to hear.
And for me, the most insane part, it's like, I'm one of those people that complain a lot.
Yeah.
So when you complain, Dlozi is actually listening, and they will give you what you want. They will take you out of that thing that's making you miserable.
Yes, it's more like your wish is my command.
So you should always be mindful of what you complain about.
Exactly. You should.
Or be depressed, or choose to be depressed by. So Lerato's father says that marriage is not for two people only. It's also for the families. Even the husband's family must welcome her. The same way we were supportive. Lerato's father says that he is tired and he chooses independence for Lerato. The father-in-law does not want to help. Apparently, the husband's father is holding back things. So Thembi gave an example of a tender.
Yeah.
So when a tender comes through and his son could use that tender to feed his family and to make the situation at home a little bit better, he holds on to it because he keeps telling himself that he wants to give him something bigger in the spiritual realm. And that bigger thing is not going to come now.
Isn't it funny, because we have people who are naturally like that, people who would like to go big or go home. So we are seeing now an ancestor who's really following to that path. People who would not take a slow growth, people who want a boom type of growth. So we have that also amongst ourselves. Perhaps I'm also suffering from that. I want to see things grow faster. It takes time and patience for some of the things to grow, and some other steps are just for you to actually reach where you want to go. Not necessarily important at the current, at the current moment, but for the future, they are a building block. So this type of an ancestor is the one that will say, I'll hold until I have what it takes, or there is something closer that is very big, then I would give.
That was very interesting. So there are things that he's holding back that can help his son, but he's choosing to not do so. So that was like... And he's also choosing to set the child free. If Lerato wants to go, she can go.
And so it's not a begging type of an ancestor, more so towards a wife that came in. So it's like, well, if you feel that you are in a wrong path, or you cannot wait for what is coming, what big that I have, then get out.
Well, the husband said that it's deeper than that. He says that the spirit of his father doesn't feel that they are welcome. So she even reiterated on that part of having that small tender that can assist the family. Instead, he chooses to hold on to it.
Yeah.
So Lerato's father says he's tired of patching the gaps. So
Yes.
in spiritual form, both their parents are communicating. And
that's
Lerato's
how if you are married, that's how it should be.
How?
Because that's a family. They are cross-chatting to say that assist
your son.
your son so that your son can provide for our daughter.
So he's saying he's tired of filling and patching the gaps for the daughter, Lerato.
That is the family. That is the maternal side of. I mean, that is not even. That is a wife's side.
The husband's side, and the wife's side. So yeah, it was very interesting for me. So the remedy that they got was 1 white candle and 2 glasses of water. That's when they started opening the line of communication with the ancestors. So then Lerato's mother said, Lerato tshwantse khotlelle, she must be tolerable or have tolerance in her marriage. So ore mosadi wa khotlelela. That's literally what it means. Lerato must not go with women, this narrative of independent women. Mosadi tshwara thipa ka mo bohaleng. Lerato's mom uthi, you don't let another woman take you out of your house or out of your home.
Profound. That is profound.
Even if the man cheated, she doesn't care.
Exactly.
She
Those Emily are things that we are told when you are about to get married, that some of the things are not worth for you to actually leave your marriage for, such as cheating. We understand the others where someone is physical with you, which is now not something that we can tolerate. But that one of a woman coming in between you and your family, and then you budging and saying now you are leaving. And sisters, they don't take that. They say no, kotella, stay with this man, correct him while you are inside, not when you are outside and throwing stones and say, well, this is what happened in my marriage, guys. You know, that is not what these ancestors are looking for. And these are things that are said by old people most of the time. And we say, these ones were living under immense pressure, and they didn't want to take themselves serious by thinking about themselves and moving out, which is something most independent women would preach about.
They're all over social media. They're doing it.
Yes.
They're doing it. They're like, independence. Yeah, it is happening. Well, the husband said that they had issues for years. Then he decided that what's important to him was his family.
Yes.
So it's sounding like he did have an extramarital affair at some point. Or
He did. Yes, he admitted to having that.
But at the end of the day, he still chose his family. So Lerato said that since last year, things have been getting worse. It sounded like she hasn't moved on or forgiven him for doing that. She was still holding on to the hurt. And then her grandmother came in and said, there's no marriage that doesn't have problems. When you break up, or when we decide to break you up as the ancestors, the underground gang, you must have a valid reason, and we must also have a valid reason as to why you guys are breaking up. Okay? And she says that I'm not going to let you start roaming the streets with other men. Don't tell me about people of the streets. Now I'm thinking about the kids, the children. So the husband also needed to check with his father as to what's making him drag his feet. This is the advice Thembi gave. And he said the grandmother will not allow her to break her marriage over things that can be fixed.
Correct.
So according to the grandmother, she did not want Lerato to break up with her husband. And Arihulati voice, tabo independent woman, kama tlohong ya Lerato.
Hey! Zakala.
Hulati voice. Tabo independent woman. And I think I know where those voices are coming from. Now I'm on social media, I'm hearing those voices a lot. They're all over. They're on Facebook, they're on TikTok, they're everywhere.
Take yourself serious.
Those voices of independent women. And then Sis Thembi, they're coming for you for this one. Hey,
but it's not Sis Thembi was talking. It was an ancestor.
The ancestor of the grandmother said those are the worst women you can find. They cry themselves to sleep. Bati bona, why me? And they're also lonely. So when a man cheats, but ubuya ekhaya, that's
Fix
what's
that.
important.
Lukisa lelapa la hao.
A dog goes and eats at every dustbin, but it always comes home. Those are the kind of advices you hear when you're getting married. I've never been married, but I hear those advice at weddings.
Exactly.
They're like, your man will always come back to you.
Exactly.
That's what they always say, Abu Mama, Abakulile.
Profound. It's
That's
true.
what matters, as long as he comes home to you.
All you need to do when is to stand up and fix your home. During that time, find a way of bringing that man into accountable in a right way so that you build your home, not in a manner that seeks to put you in an independent state.
And she also said, there is nothing out there for you. The only thing is that uzoba is keberesh, and I won't allow that. Listen to Gogo preventing her grandchild, her child from going into a path of loneliness and distraction. Because what I know for sure is that men don't commit to a divorcee or a return soldier. I've never bothered to ask men why, Mr. Anonymous.
Others would say that I've gotten married twice, and well, kudos for you if you have reached that point, which we understand. There are other people who have that luck of getting married twice. But truth is that also once you are from such relationships, then you are not the person that a person would like to bring home, because one, you are a return soldier. Two, your experience is super seeding the experience of this man who probably is not at the stage or has never been married before. So the best way is actually to fix your lapalahao, because then not only for you, and there is even that argument in this submission of Ukoko to say that it's not only about you and your kids that are very important, that are a determining factor for us to take this decision.
So yes, it is what they had to say to her. That's the message, and I felt like that was a very powerful message.
It was profound.
It was very powerful.
It was profound.
I've always felt it in my gut, but I didn't know how to express it. But at least now I can only reference, exhibit Dlozi. Well, she also said that as wives, y'all need to stop comparing yourselves. Just because somebody's husband has done this for them does not mean you should go back home and exact the same pressure on your husband. Remember that marriage is not for the man, it's actually for the woman. According to the spiritual laws and elements, women, marriage is for them. And she says we must learn to support and build and support as well when we are having husbands.
That is true. That is true. We should learn to build and support, and I mean that's I like the things that that were submitted here. A woman is a supporting structure, and any direction that you take that is beyond supporting, then you are already entering the terrain of a man.
I will not build a man. I just want him ready-made.
It's not me.
Allegedly.
Hey, Gogo explained such people very clearly. And that's because Gogo is the spirit. There's an underground gang now.
Well, Mr. Simusho, that's the name. I don't know whether we butchered it at the beginning. His dad and his grandfather appeared, and his dad was waiting for a verdict from him, the husband, to tell how he feels about the situation. So he needed to be clear about whether he wants to separate from his wife or not, so that the father can decisively deal with the situation in the spiritual realm.
Okay.
And Thembi are motse hore o shota mo kae so that your wife can also be happy. So he started speaking, and he asked for what he wanted, and what he wanted are good things for his family as a whole, as well as his children. He reminded his father of how he raised him by saying that a man must provide, a man must be there for their family, a man must be a good man to their children. So he needed assistance from him with that. Yeah. And Thembi asked also of Mr. Ramush.
Yeah.
Simusho.
Yeah.
My apologies. Mr. Simusho kneeling before his wife. So he asked her to kneel before his wife and apologize for what he has put her through.
And those are instructions, by the way. I mean, if we say Thembi asked that, those were instructions.
They were instructions from their ancestors. So he needed to show that he was sorry for what he had done.
He must be remorseful.
she says there's no sangoma or a psychologist that will fix this. She needs to assure her that everything is going to be fine and they're going to live in harmony. From today, things will be fixed in that house. So he asked for forgiveness and asked her to please heal. And you could see with how she was crying that this could be the apology that she had been waiting for all of these years that she was angry, eh?
Could be.
It could be, because it felt like it was healing her for some weird reason. It's like she had waited to hear that apology. Maybe he didn't know how to go about it. You know, men never really know how to fix sometimes. What do you think, Mr. Anonymous?
Yeah, I can read from the tears. I'm not a fan of tears.
Oh, you're not a fan of tears.
But maybe it's true what you're saying.
I forget that you don't like tears.
Yeah, maybe it's true what you're saying.
Well, yeah, she says that they needed to stop fighting, especially in front of the children. And then it was also her turn to apologize. She said the same thing, that she's sorry for saying hurtful words. And yes, they needed to stop in front of the kids and stop fighting in front of the kids. So yeah, she's saying she will heal. But yeah, it was progressive. I felt like it was progressive.
Like basically, there's nothing to say about this episode. It was an episode that we probably needed to hear for us going forward, and what our ancestors are thinking about the way we live life now, and where are they? Are they coping, moving with us? And we have realized that they do know that there are certain things that might look good in our eyes, but we are going in the wrong way, such as this thing of independent women that we are busy preaching. And it's very interesting and nice to actually hear such, not being said by a person who's probably an analyst or whatsoever, but said by the spirits of that has lived this earth.
The deceased spirits that can see everything. But their advice touched me. I was like, yo, because even at the end of the show, they were burning the divorce papers with the candle, the very same candle that was lit as they were making peace. And they're saying they're going for a couples retreat where they will spend time together and hopefully work more things out. So the message at the end of the show Sis Thembi had is that we should not be too quick to file for divorce. You'll end up being used by men. And barinyala udibone thala uitute, meaning get married and you will see and leave the situation and learn from the situation. Don't just leave, learn from it. And yeah, they burned their divorce papers. They are willing to give it another shot, and I was happy for that.
It's a very happy ending, and that's
I
good
know
to
it's
see
not gonna
people
be
living.
easy, but
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm always happy when I see both parties fighting for their marriage.
Because we are in a world where marriage has been looked at as a thing that is
Prison, a trap,
that is
miserable.
stopping women from growing on their dreams and whatnot. Very interesting when we see such people and they live together. And the nice thing is that as much as they are verbally fighting, it has not been physical, or we were not told of any physical altercation that has happened, and that is very interesting.
That's
and
good.
If that is the case, and really it is what we are thinking, we would like them to heal from where they are and actually create a good family for their kids.
Yes, from generations to come. At least Bona, they'll have an episode to show the next generation in their family that we were going through some stuff and we fixed it.
Yeah.
Because one thing I've seen with couples that really stick together, it becomes generational. It becomes a thing of generational, where even their children, when they get married, they are blessed with good partners or good people that understand them, and they're able to begezela because they saw an example with their parents. They have a bit of an example to look to. But if you grew up in a single people's household or you were raised in a single, it's kind of difficult because whenever you learn that you have to make compromises, you translate that into abuse, or they don't want me to have fun or to live my life. You don't understand ubunzima of marriage, and I found that very enlightening. So guys, tell us what you think in the comments.
Guys, please tell us what you think, and if you have watched the show, what did you think yourself? I mean, if you have listened to us narrated a story, still tell us what you think. What is your opinion on this? Are you one of those people who are thinking that independency is detached from any relationship or any marriage? You should be moved away from such so that you can prosper, and well and good. Explain to us how you feel. And then those who are still keeping on with their families and marriage, good also, please tell us your experience and what you have faced, and we would like to hear from you. And please subscribe on that process and like our video and share where you can share. Thank you very much again.